Let's just for a second. I want to come back to the Senior Bowl, but I know you. I know, especially because of where Deshaun Watson grew up, where he played his prep ball, and he was geographically right in your backyard. And you got a lot of, especially back in your recruiting days, and you were hot on the trail of all that stuff. You got a lot of up close looks at Deshaun Watson, and obviously, right now it still kind of feels like a pipe dream for Broncos fans as far as really, the prospect of even landing a Deshaun Watson. But nevertheless, it's continuing to build up steam with the different reports and rumors, and some of the most bona fide Denver insiders are connecting Watson to the Broncos. Tell our listeners just a little bit about, because they might be a little confused because they're like, wait, you just compared the most unathletic quarterback, Mac Jones, to Deshaun Watson. Like, what is this guy talking about? But there's actually a reason and a rhyme to that. So just tell our listeners a little bit about what you picked up about Deshaun Watson, especially between the years.
I did, and right here, if you look, I'm in Johns Creek, Georgia. It's a suburb of Atlanta. And Deshaun went to Gainesville High School in Gainesville, Georgia. If you do a MapQuest on that, it's about 25 miles. MapQuest, how old am I? If you do a Google Maps on that, it's about 20, 25 miles. So he's from here, and he went to, obviously went to Clemson. If you're comparing arm talent between Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence, who's from Cartersville, Georgia, which is about 20 miles the other direction, there's no comparison. Trevor Lawrence is much more of that prototype thrower that has that amazing generational type of talent arm before Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson was okay on a grand team. We're talking about, elite quarterbacks. It was okay. He's not all that fast. He's not a great runner. So when we talk about athleticism, that's not what made Deshaun Watson so good. What made Deshaun Watson so good is he's the smartest quarterback. And I was director of scouting for college recruiting at scout.com when he was coming through. Yep. Deshaun Watson's the smartest quarterback I ever watched. And this goes back my first class, maybe 2002, 2003. I went to see Matthew Stafford play, speaking of elite arm talent, in Texas. Mm-hmm. But from when I said quarterback for Mac Jones, that's what Deshaun Watson is. He was the only quarterback I can ever remember seeing who called his own plays at the line of scrimmage in high school. That's unheard of. He was that good. So when we talk about the intangibles, what makes a great quarterback, the stuff that you can't measure. There's a phrase I use in scouting. They say you can't measure someone's heart. Everybody uses that phrase. But what I added on to that was, but you can damn sure tell if he's got one or not. Mm-hmm. And you can tell if a player is just got those instincts, that intuitiveness. And when we talk about the intangibles that make a great quarterback, Peyton Manning versus, say, John Elway, John Elway may be the most talented quarterback to ever come through from the running, the size, the arm strength. Peyton Manning isn't anywhere near him. But they were both great quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson has all of those it factors, all of those intangibles, the leadership, the smarts, the ability to change a play at the line of scrimmage. And to me, that's what I was very confident that he was going to be successful in college, and then moving on to, once I saw him in college, and moving on, making the next step to the NFL, because he's a brilliant quarterback. And he has plenty of arm talent and all that stuff. He's got enough. He's got the enough factor. He doesn't have the biggest arm, but he's got enough. You still have to have talent. Don't get me wrong. It's not all about, a guy coming out of the Ivy Leagues who can't throw. He can still throw the ball.
From a football fan to another, where do you think Deshaun ends up this year? I mean, I don't think he's coming to Denver. I know every team is going to line up to offer 3, 4, 5, whatever first-round picks to land him. Where do you think he's playing this season?
Houston.
You're the second guest. Jason Cole said the same. What, was it Jason Cole, Chad?
Yes.
If we're laying odds, Houston's got to be the favorite still, right? I mean, they have to let him go.
I still think it's going to be a long shot to trade him too.
But, the pipe dream is here. The Atlanta Falcons, we've got a number 4 overall pick. Let's send it there and then some to get a guy like Deshaun Watson. But, you're talking about a $40 million cap hit for Matt Ryan, and Matt Ryan is still an upper tier quarterback. That's not going to happen. So will the Falcons draft a quarterback that high at number 4? Maybe, because this is such a great year for quarterbacks that they might not get this chance again. Especially when you got Justin Fields. I went 15 years in Georgia without a quarterback, and then they're just coming out of the woodwork. because Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields are about 10 miles apart at Cartersville and Kennesaw. So, and then I got Deshaun Watson over here on this side, about 20 miles from me. So it's been pretty special the last 5-10 years for quarterbacks in the Peach State.